Hello everyone and welcome back. So today we are going to discuss about stories in SAP Artist Cloud. So this is the first session about the stories. We will be having multiple session because it's a vast topic and it is. I'm not going to cover each and everything within one session. So this is the first session about the story. We will start with the basics of the story. What are the components while we are developing a story, and what are the important features, and session by session we will go into more details and even like some customizations. So all this stuff we will see what are the major components. So to start with, we will our first session related to story will be on pages and widgets. So what are pages? So I know that this is very basic, but maybe some of our viewers are quite new to the tool, so it's good that they understand that we use pages to organize the insight logically, separate high level and detailed level analysis, improve readability and storytelling, and enable user driven exploration. So whenever we come up with a requirement of a dashboard or a report, so it is very important to understand like how or what is the best possible way to represent the data. So why SAP called it a story instead of a report or something? Because the SAP wants the dashboard, or it is not only about SAP, like any visualization tool you develop, it is kind of a storytelling thing to the management, that this is happening and how decisions can be making, what sort of improvement areas are there, and what is going good, what is not doing well. So all those insights is a kind of a storytelling, and you jump from a high level to low level and then come back to the high level, so just to understand data from different angles and different perspectives or different context. So that is why page is very important, like how you distribute your page. So if you are building a dashboard related to PNL, so then you will have maybe you will have multiple pages related to MTD, YTD, full year, and then some detailed analysis about balance sheet report or something. So you can have that, and again you can have a linked story or a data analyzer in case some user may want to go more details to look around a particular line item, so they can start at the very top level like summary level, go one level down, and then go at the next level. Similarly, when we do a sales related dashboard, so we saw different context of it. Maybe you'll show revenue, cost, everything at a high level at the first summary page, related to PNL and everything. And maybe another page you want to showcase by product category how the different matrices are performing, or by region or country. So you'll be distributing or deciding. So making this framework at the very initial stage is very important. Otherwise, maybe you will make a very attractive dashboard, but it is not that much value addition to the business. So both needs to be balanced. So your report will be helping the business users with the technical functionalities, or how the integration works, or how interactive is your dashboard. But at the same time, it is also should be taken care that the storytelling is followed correctly, the sequence. I start here, and kind of a story, it tells about the specific report or a specific requirement. And then we have a widget. So widgets are basically a small any small component, or the components that are used to build a particular page. So within the page you will have the visuals, which are the charts, maybe some text you want to put, some image, or the company's logo you want to put. So everything that you are putting on the page is known as widget. So when you collect all the widgets and arrange it um, in a particular page, then it is your page is completed. And when you arrange all of your pages, then your story is ready. So that's how we do it. And when we come to the types of story pages, so there are two types of story pages, which are canvas, and canvas are basically free from layout, and it is best for dashboards and executive views. Okay, so where you need a fixed views. So let's suppose there is a screen and you management want to run a particular dashboard page or a dashboard on that screen of your office as a kind of a live, people are seeing what is happening with the data. So those kind of reports are very suitable when we use canvas pages. And also, like, if you want to have a fixed layout where you want to create any form, free form layout where you want to create any form, invoice kind of thing, a particular template you have to generate the offline PDF format or something. So those are suitable because you decide the length and everything here, like what will be the length, what will be the breadth of the page, and it's a kind of a fixed one. When we come to the responsive one, it auto adjusts layout based on the different screen sizes. So you are opening, so these are very good in if your users are accessing the reports from multiple devices. Like sometimes they will access the story or the dashboard from mobile devices or from desktop or the laptop. So multiple devices have multiple screen size. Some laptops come up with 11-inch screen, some 14, some 16. Desktop maybe 21, 23. So it varies. So this responsive page adjusts the size automatically based on the screen size of the device. So that's about how to decide whether I go with the canvas page or I should go with the responsive page. Coming to the story widget, as I said, all the components that are used to build the story page are known as widgets. So within widgets, we will have chart widgets, which are used to visualize the data graphically. Example, you can create a bar chart, line chart, pie chart, or you can also create composite, and then you can use it in multiple places. Then you can create a geo map as well. So all these comes under chart widgets. And it is used for trend and comparison analysis, and it is quite more than that. So trend and comparison is most common, but it also gives you pattern. It depends on the nature of the chart. Some will give you the distribution of the data, some will give you the pattern of the data, some will give you the outlier. Like you are using box chart, then you will get the outliers in your data. You will use bubble chart, it will give you distribution. Scattered chart, it will give you the distribution. So multiple charts, heat map. So there are many charts types which you can use, but you need to be very not sure, because I feel that this is very important, but many of us don't want, or maybe many of us most commonly use the bar chart or line chart. Many commonly, if I see many of the dashboard people build, they simply use, although they can do it much better using other charts because of the requirement, but they simply go with a bar chart, line chart, maybe donut or something. But you need to be very precise to understand what sort of information I want to provide, and then select your chart accordingly. Sometimes business users are also not aware about the charts, so you need to also explain them, like why you have used this chart and how it will help them to visualize the data more easily. So you need to select a chart in order to make it more easier to catch the important information from your visualization. Then you have a table and cross tab widget. These are used for display the detailed data in rows and columns, and it also supports hierarchical sorting and totals. So kind of a tabular data. And this tabular data is useful when sometimes when you use planning model. So you want to do planning, so then you will be manipulating the data by clicking on each line or each cell. So then it is very important. And also sometimes you want to showcase like couple of dimensions. So charts are good if you have a limited number of dimension, maybe maximum 2 dimension, 3 dimension, or maybe 4 dimension. But let's suppose if due to some reason you want to showcase at least 8 or 9 dimension, and then also you can choose the table. But you need to make sure, because it's a dashboard, it's a storytelling kind of thing. Tables should not be used for detailed analysis. If a user wants to do perform a detailed analysis, they should be using the data analyzer, where they will get the flexibility to add and remove the columns. Although we have this flexibility now in the latest release, we also have this flexibility of adding rows and columns within the table chart as well, so which is good one. So if you are using that, because it also adds to the load, the performance of the dashboard. So always use a simple tables on the story layout. Maybe if user want to do some modification in the view mode, that is fine. But it should not be like you add all the columns, everything, and treat it as a like a detailed report. Never do that. That's not a good practice for a data. Then your report will not have a better performance, and it is also not as per the SAP's best practice. Coming to the input control widget, so these are used as a drop down slicer checkboxes. So these are used as a filter option. So you can create dynamic chart, and you can dynamically select a particular measure from the list of measures, a particular column from the list of columns, and your chart visualization changes according to your selection. So that is measure input control and dimension input control. Apart from that, you can also select a particular dimension, and then user will be able to select any filter of that. For example, you have 5 company codes, so you have given an option to the user to select out of those 5 company codes. If they want to visualize the data for only one company code, they can select it, and then you can decide whether you want to go a single selection or multiple selection of available, or kind of a range. In case of date, you can use range as well, like from this date to that date, or from the, hierarchical format also you can use for the date, like year, then quarter, then month, and then particular day. So all those options will be available for the input control. So these are basically user can restrict the data for a particular selected dimension value. Text widgets are used when you want to put the titles, explanations, annotations. So whenever business user access any dashboard, maybe some business user will be accessing it. Every business user access it for the first time. When they access it for the first time, maybe they are not sure, because it is not like only you should think like you are developing something because the stakeholders are aligned. You do not need to put information, because once your dashboard will be live, then many new users will be onboarded, and then it will be very useful if you put some explanations, annotations, or maybe one cover page where you describe your dashboard. So what this story is about, what are the major KPIs, what specific chart tells us about, and what information or what value addition it adds, and what is the purpose of this dashboard. So if you fill these information, then even a new person access this dashboard, he will understand, okay, what this dashboard is about. And instead of going to the IT team or getting confused, like whether I use this dashboard or that dashboard, because there will be cases where you will build a multiple dashboard with some common KPIs. So then business user will be not sure that which dashboard will be correct for me. But if you put a clear details or the clear overview of your dashboard, then it will be very helpful for them. So you can use test widget for all those information, like a cover page, titles, footers, annotations, explanations about any chart, any critical chart is there you want to explain or write something about that chart, that also you can do. So those are where text widgets are very useful. And also, like, you want to change the title of each widget or each visualization you are using, whether it's a button or a chart, so you can use text option to change the name. And then you have a header widget. So in the header widgets are basically used to add a header to your page. So and these are not mandatory. It depends like how you want to design your dashboard. So header widgets are something you can use as a header, and you can write the name and the page number or something kind of header you use in Microsoft Word or something, so that you can use as a header widget. So sometimes we need to develop a report, and we also need to download the report, okay, in PDF format. And when we don't include the header widgets, no, so what happens, like your first page will have the header, and but because if it is a lengthy report, okay, maybe it's a lengthy report and it's not fit into the one page of the PDF, then from second page onwards it will not include the header. So if you have the header widget, then you can generate the PDF or the PPT with the header enabled, so that each page will have that header and it will be easier to read. This is just one example. So advantages and use cases differ based on the cases that you'll have, business cases. And then we have a button where we can define any function using a script, JavaScript. So we can add a button and we can write a function. So for example, user want one page, and when he clicks on the button, the same chart changes to tabular format. Or maybe in similar way, you don't want two multiple pages, but same information in two different views, and one is hidden by default, and one is by default it is available there as a default, it is visible. Now when you click on the button, one will go invisible and the other will come. So you can pass the button number or the button name accordingly, like use visualization 1, we use visualization 2, or you can name it as a business. But this is one example of the buttons can be used because it's a scripting. You can use it for any different purpose as well. Like you can write a button and you can name it like go to the detailed analysis, and we click on the button. In that button, just write a script to jump to the data analyzer for the same model where you'll have more information. You can pass the parameters as well based on the requirement. So wherever you have an option to write a script, you can write it based on the um, design, like what you want to do with the button or the customization. Okay, so that's all for today's session, and we will now jump to the demo session where we will see like how we can create pages and what all widgets are there, and I will also give you some high level overview of a story. So we are in SAP Artist Cloud now. So here within the story menu, you can see there are two options to create a story. One is Canvas and another is, one is responsive, another is Canvas. So it is not like that when you create a story in SAP Analytics Cloud, the entire story needs to be Canvas or entire story needs to be responsive. So this nature, whether it's a responsive or Canvas, it as a page level. So for example, if we go with responsive, so let's create a responsive page. So here you can see this is the initial screen when we create a new story. Let me minimize this. And before proceeding, let's go through the menus options that we see. So here you have the file option. So you will save it. So whenever you start building anything, it's better to save it after every interval, because sometimes the session goes out or some network issue happens, and then maybe you invested already 1 hour or something on when developing something, and it is all it's not saved and you need to redo those things. So best practice is to, after every 15 to 20 minutes or 30 minutes, to keep saving your changes for the story. So before starting, I will save it. I will just give it some name. For example, I'll save it under public, my files, public, I'll go at the end. I have one folder created for this session under my name. Okay, so here I'll save the story. I'll name it as demo story for SSC. Okay, so you can name it and also the description. So you can follow the naming convention when you are doing the real development for your organization. You need to follow the naming convention, how you give the idea of the story and how you'll describe the description of the story. And I'll save it. So now it is saved. You can see the name of the story appearing at the top here, and it will also show you the folder when you click it, my files, public, and storage. And then here you have the first page as default by page one. Okay, so as I said, the nature of this page, because we selected the responsive page, so nature of this page is a responsive. Now if we want to add more pages, we have an option, like we can keep all the pages as responsive, all the pages as canvas, or we can create a mix of it. Like I want first page as responsive and second page as canvas. So in this case I will add canvas because I want to explain you the difference between the two. Already I have explained you while the discussion or going through the deck, but still let me show you in the system how is the difference. So when I go to page one, let me rename it. This is our responsive page. Okay, and page 2 is our canvas page. So this is how you can rename it. You can also double click to rename it. And what options you get, sometimes like you want to test something, so you have already developed a lot of widgets, but you are not sure whether a particular change will work or not. So instead of changing the original page and then reverting it back, you can create a duplicate of it. Okay, so you can create a duplicate of it, or copy the page and paste it in another page. So a lot of options are there. Or sometimes you create a page, but you by default you can you need to hide it, set as hidden, and maybe using some button or some functionality you just unhide it using the scripting option. So that option is also there. Or you want to move it left, so by dragging also you can move it, or from here also you can move right and left. Then you can add the comment to the page. If you click on it, the comment will appear over here. And then you have stack all pages tab, and in case you want to delete the page, you can use this option to delete the page. Okay, so now we'll go to responsive. And before going here, so I thought I think you are now much aware about how we can add pages and use the type of the pages to be used. Now here we have options like save as. So in case it is similar, like when we want to create a copy of the entire story, then we use a save as option. Save as template is used in case you want to just use the template, like the framework or the layout of the dashboard, but not the real data or the data model behind it. So you can use reuse. So these are helpful when you want to create a similar story but different data set, or a different KPI or a different requirement, but maybe you want to keep the header or the footer or some part of it, you want to reuse it, so then you can use it for the template. Or now this is a new feature, like you can also save as a version. So people can some people want to go use the older version for certain reason and new version for certain reason. So then you can also have multiple version of the story. Then here you have a share option. So from here also you can share this story to other people. When you click on it, it will ask like couple of options. Okay, so here you can customize the link as well. So here it is coming as this link, but you can provide your own URL, so that in case you do changes or create a fresh copy story, so this link changes because it has the story ID associated with it. So in case you will use a custom link, then you can keep it a unique. So that will be easier when you share the link to the end user. It will be very easy, like you can maintain the same link even if the story backend story is changed. And then parameter, in case you want to pass some parameter, you can see the options here. You can use and to separate multiple URL parameters. So these parameters are useful when you want to pass some parameter while opening the story. Okay, and then you can select the users or teams with whom you want to share the story and what access you want to provide, whether you want to provide them view access or edit access or full control means they can even delete the story. Okay, or maybe custom also you can select. So by custom, view is already selected. Maybe in edit you want to select some, but maybe you want to give them share access but not delete option. So then you can select this custom access. Okay, and this will show you that with which users this story is already shared. So shared with all the users. Okay, going to the next one, we have some setting option. We will go to these things later on, because first I will give you the overview. So this comes up with some story detail or query setting, how you want to do those settings. Some default parameter is already there, but in case you want to change that, then you can do that. And then you have file version will appear over here. Then you have a similar like undo redo option, like when you do and add any widget or do any action on your story, you can undo or redo it. And in case like your backend data has changed and you were still working on the story, you can refresh it so that you can get the latest data. Okay, so this refresh doesn't mean it refresh the data in the model. No, if your model data has changed and because your story was already open, so it didn't show you the latest data, then this data refresh works. So this data refresh is the refresh between the model and your story, not from the source to your model. So be very sure, like this is not like refreshing the model, this is refreshing the data in the story. And then we have a copy option, similar like you want to copy any widget. So currently we don't have any widget, you can copy or copy it to another page or make a duplicate of it or paste it somewhere. So all those options. And then in the insert option, these are the major options where you will be inserting the widgets. So you can insert a chart, you can insert a table, or input control. As I said, input control are used to um, do dynamic filtering at the page level, or sometimes also used to dynamically select a measure or a dimension input control or a measure input control. And then we have certain other options, like you want to add a text or a header or a button to perform certain operations. Filter, there are multiple types of filter. So by default you have a filter called input control, but in case like user wants, I want a checkbox or drop down, so then you can go with this. And for these cases you need to do a scripting. Okay, so for each these kind of thing, how you will do the script and what action will be performed, you need to write in the script, in the JavaScript in the background. Okay, and then you have the input field or text area you can use. You have containers. So containers are basically how you arrange your layout. Okay, so many of the times you will be using flow layout panel. So flow layout panel is very important, because if you are um, because people do use different resolution, because it's a web-based tool. It doesn't come up with an application on a desktop, right? We have SAP Artist Cloud application for mobile devices, but for Windows or the PCs or the desktop, we have it in a web-based. Like we will be accessing it in any of the web-based, like Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge. So in those cases, some people will keep resolution as 80%, some people will keep the resolution as 100% or 120%. Many of the times they keep different resolutions. So these flow panel are very useful when you, I'll give you in detail also when I will be developing the story. I'll show you how it adjusts the size. So these are used as like you select the flow panel and specific, like you put one panel for the header, one panel for part one of your story page, one panel for your uh, part two, part three, so that whenever user do any resolution adjustment plus minus, this panel automatically adjusts the size of the content within this panel. Okay, so that's the thing. Page book is usually used when you need multiple pages, not at this, but within the page you need a dot, like next kind of a page thing. Okay, so it will not create a separate page, but within a page you will have a dotted option over here. So you just click on the dot, you can jump from this page to another part of the same page. It is like the part of the same page for page book is used. And then panel are used like within the flow layout panel. You can also use a normal panel where you can put the widgets so that you want to make something at a fixed. So these are dynamically adjusting the widths, and in the panel most of the cases we put the fixed areas, but here also we have an option to select the width and height, or the area where the panel needs to be done. So these two we use in a combination. I will show you on standard story or something going forward in this session, but here I am just giving an overview. Then you have a tab strip in case like within the page you need multiple tabs for multiple visualizations. Then you can use the tab option. And then you have a section option. Section are usually used when you want to and this is not available for responsive pages. Okay, section you can only use for canvas. So if I go to canvas page here, you can see the section will appear. Okay, so section also you can use only for the canvas pages where you can create multiple sections. Okay, and I will show you each and everything with an example going forward. So because this session is about the overview, I'm just giving you the option. Then we have the status. These are related to the mostly related to the planning things, like you want to perform data action or BBC planning sequences. And then you have certain other options as well, like you want to add a geo map. So geo map doesn't comes as a direct map as a chart, but it you need to add it from others. Then you have image, like you want to put the company logo or something, you want to put some shape, or you want to use some symbol like money symbol or something for and then other options are there, like you want to add comments, RSS readers, R visualization. If something is not coming by default, you can also use R visualization to create a specific type of a chart or visualization. Then you have a value driver tree as well, and web pages. So web page also you can integrate within your story. Okay, so these are the options. And then we have the composite. So composite we create as a combination of multiple widgets and kind of a function, you can say, like we created a combination of multiple widgets, and because we are going to use this combination of widgets at multiple stories, then create a composite so that you do the changes at one place and all the changes will reflect to multiple places. So that's the use of the composites. Then coming to the tools, we have like you can add multiple models here. So using this option you can add the model, and this will automatically come if you have any variable defined at the model level, or parameter you can say, or variable you can say, or even like two models are there having this similar variable, you can also link the variables using this option. Or you can link dimensions as well using this option, like you have multiple models and you want to create a join or link the models, then you can use the link option. Okay, and then you have the scaling we use, like how you want to represent the figures, whether in million um, uh, or thousands or billions. So then scaling you can use, and this scaling is at a global level. Like you can define the scaling and you can select a specific dimension or a measure, sorry, specific measure. So wherever that measure will be used throughout the story, it will use that scaling feature. Okay, at the same time you can also define the scaling at the chart level or widget level. Like for a specific chart I want to show this same measure as a million, but for another chart I want to show it as a thousand. So then you define it at the chart level, but if you define it at the story level, then it will be global to this story. Then you can use conditional formatting to showcase some critical information, like what is in red, or risk, what is in green, or some other features for conditional formatting for easy access of the data or easy visualization. Formula bar you can also use if you are using a tabular data, and there you can write a simple formula to create some formula related columns. Then this widget diagram shows you how each widget are linked to each other. What is the dependency of one widget on another widget? So this will show you that. And in case your story is not performing well, it is very slow, then you can use performance optimization to analyze the story performance. Okay, and then you can also look for best practices so that you can improve your story performance. Coming to the format option, you have a layout option, how you will select the layout. So if you go to the layout, so there will be certain layout options available. If you and you can also create your own layout, manually added layouts. Okay, so here you see one is given by SSE. If I add it and click on apply, this layout will be applied. Okay, so it's very easy. So layout is applied now. Now I just add one numeric chart, another numeric chart, and create another bar chart, and then the respective charts. I just need to add the respective data model and the respective measures and dimensions from that data model to represent it. So this is how the layout works. Okay, and even if after add using this layout, if you want to change anything, you can use it, but it is a good way to for a quick start in case you don't want to invest much time. So this is very important. Like, as I said, when you develop your first story, and you will invest a lot of time in formatting and all, but going forward you can save it as a template. So template will look similar to this. So you just start with a template, and then you can add your new KPIs or visuals based on your requirement. Then you have a theme option where you can apply the preferences, whether you want to go with a light theme, that is the default one, or you go with the browse for many themes. So you can select the themes using this, or create your own theme and save it, or reset the styling panel. So if you click on browse on all themes, so if you have saved the theme, then you can select the specific theme from it. Okay, and then you have some edit CSS where you can write the code, whether you want to perform any activity using the account input control. And then you have, so let's suppose, let me close this. Okay, so these two view options are very important, because when you will be developing or creating your widget, if I go to response, when I click on this view, which is called as left side panel, left side panel comes up with three options: assets, outlines, and filters. Assets will give you the details, like how many charts or tables you are having, what sort of filters you are having. So you can add this, like drag and drop. So these are the assets which you can add to your page. Okay, so this is called as like assets, how you can. So these all options, all things you can drag and drop and add to your page. For example, if I want to add chart, I can drag and drop like this. So I just drag and drop and chart is added. It will ask me to select the model. So I will select my model which I have created for the training purpose. So I will go to the end, open it, and within this we have one model. Okay, so this model is added, and this chart is added as well. So now here I can give just one measure, like gross sales, for example, and gross sales is added. Instead of this, let me use a numeric chart kind of thing like this, and I can go with auto scale, for example, instead of using anything. So very basics starting with this, and this is our responsive page. Okay, so you can see whenever I am dragging, it is showing the length of the each shell. So we can't stop anywhere in between. If you stop, it will either go this way or that way depending on where your cursor is. See, so that is called responsiveness. Okay, so this is one chart I have added in the responsive page. And similarly, you can add other things as well, like you want to go with header or footer. So all these things you can add. Okay, and then you have the outline. So in the outline, you have the global setting. So if you go to the global setting, you have certain options like default CSS name, and if you want to perform any scripting, you can write it, or automatic generate PDF export. So you can use that option, or manually generate PDF via API. So these are used for schedule publication. If you want to schedule it so that this report is generated in PDF format and sent to the email for the offline users. Okay, and you can also put a reminder, so in any data changes for planning setting. So then you can, by default these are checked, but in case you want to change it, you can change it. Then in navigation bar, don't get confused that I am skipping some of the part or going very fast, because this is the introduction session of the story. I will not, because when I will be describing you in depth of each thing, then I will be coming up with an example so that it will help you to understand what is happening. Okay, so here in the navigation you have certain options like navigation type in view time. So when a user will view this dashboard, what will be the option? So currently it is in the expanded format, you can see, but you can also use it in the collapse format if they go in the present mode. But currently it is in view mode, so view mode will not come up with this expanded or collapse. But if I go to present mode, then this will help, because this is applicable for present mode only. So if I select by default my mode is present mode, then when I open the report, it will come, the menu option will be collapsed by default, and I click on it and then it will expand. Okay, so if that is the case, and this is like view time navigation type in the view time. So whether I want a drop down kind of thing or none, so then I can, so this will override the default setting. So here we provide the default setting, but instead of this, if I go to override this setting, I can use this, I go with a drop down or none. Okay, so when I will develop the story, I will show you all these options how it works. And in filter option, when you will add filter, you will get an option to arrange the filters in the order you want. And by default, whether you want to make it visible or invisible. So if you put it as hidden, then user will get an option. They will click on it and then filter will come up. Otherwise, it will be hidden. So by default, it is showing add filter. But if you don't want user to add the custom filter by their own in the view in the view mode, then you can uncheck this option. By default it will check, so that user will, you can use any filter from the model dimension. But if you want whatever filter I have provided, only those filters should work, then you can uncheck this option. Going to the bookmark is used like whenever you user will use the story, they may put, because each user will be working on a specific thing. So maybe some will go with a specific filter of company code, GL accounts, and so on. Another user will again do their own filtering, but every time they open the report, they again need to do this filtering again and again. It takes a couple of minutes to do that. Okay, so just to save that time, bookmark is very useful. So bookmark is kind of like a specific layout they can save. For example, they are doing, there are 4 GL groups, GL group 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so they put the filter on GL group 1 and certain other things that is relevant for GL group 1, and then they name their bookmark as GL group 1. Similarly, they will do for GL group 2, 3, 4. So next time when they open it, they will just simply go to the bookmark and open the GL group 1, and all the changes or the filters will be applied automatically. So they do not need to do one by one. So this is how it saves the time. And presentation is like if user will be accessing the data in the presentation mode, how the data will look like, the structure you can define. You can create the topic, you can define how the first page will be, how the navigation will work, how the filter will work. We will see this option as well. Well, coming to the page option, because we have added two different pages. One is the normal page, and which sorry, the responsive page. Another is the canvas page. Okay, so here canvas page, you see a lot of charts added by default, because we selected this option going to the layout. Okay, so we selected this option, that is why this all the pages are added. But for example, if we delete it, if we select all and delete it, so everything is gone. So now it will help better understand the difference between the two pages. Okay, so this chart we have added, but before adding this chart, what was by default added when we created a responsive page, here you see there is an option, sorry, uh, as a container, you have a flow layout panel. This is the icon of the flow layout panel. So here you can see flow layout panel named lane underscore one is added by default when you go to the responsive page. Now this same flow layout panel we can add in page number 2 as well. So if we go here and go to the container and add flow layout panel, and we name it as lane underscore one, okay, it already exists. So let's suppose lane underscore 2. Now if you see this, both looks similar, right? This is page 1, this is page 2, both have one flow layout panel, but the difference is this is the responsive in nature. That means within this page, when you go to the lane 1, you will not get this flow panel, you will not get the settings that you will get in this lane 2. So when we are going to lane 2, because this is a custom one we have added in our canvas page, and this is a custom flow out panel, not a standard one, which is by default coming with the page. So here we get an option to select the size and position, the margins, the widgets, the background color, the borders, the actions, and also the orders, whether to send it back or the alignment. Lot of options are there. Going to the building also, we have like enable preview in edit time, or also we can add the breakpoints. Now, if we go to the lane which is added by the system, we don't get other options apart from the background color. We only get the background color and the CSS name. That's it. Even if we go to the builder panel, but in the builder panel, we have more options compared to the this lane. In the builder panel here, we don't have those options, but here, which means although these two objects look similar, but because it is added with the responsive page. So you see this is the pages, and page 1 is a responsive page, and within this page we have a lane, but this lane is attached to this responsive page. So the nature of this um, uh, uh, flow panel will be different with the nature with the one we will add as a custom one. Now here, you very interesting thing you will see is within lane 1, you have this option to activate certain features. Like within page, you have lane 1 and you can auto activate something. And what it does is the responsive rule below applies to all devices except for the ones with rules defined. That means if we will, by default it is switched off. So when it is switched off, system will decide like how they will align the things. So let's suppose, let's create multiple um, this thing. I will create multiple charts and just select different um, different values. So don't go with the functional meaning of it. I'm just showing you how technically it works. So later on, when we will do the real development, I will show you how we will select a specific chart and how we will do all those things. But here I just want to show you how these things work. So I will make it a little bigger. I'll go this way and this way, also this one a little bigger, and this one also a little bigger. And again, I will copy this. For copying, I'm just simply using Control C, Control V. And here also it has some space, but I will go here. Okay. So this is my another one. And here I will put, instead of depreciation, I will use net sales. Okay. And for easy way, what I will do, I will put some background color to it. Okay. So in this case, I'll go with any color. Okay. Nothing very difficult. So here I'll go with green shade of something. Here I will go with blue shade of something. Okay, blue. And here I will go with some another shade so that it will for visualize. Okay, so I have added different colors to my charts, the numeric charts. Now what we will do, because this is on the canvas page, you can see the charts are added, and it is always good if you name the chart so that if it is a very complex story, when you will be dealing with hide and hide scripting, it will be helpful to identify the respective charts. Okay, so but in this case, I am not renaming it. To rename, you can just double click. It's very simple. Okay, so I'll go to lane 1. Here you have an option. So if I go this way and just save it, okay, now we will see the nature of it, how it does. So if we go the preview to the phone, small phone, how it arranges is like first one is gross sales, next one is net sales, then discount, then depreciation. That means it is going through the row. So if I make it as auto, that means first is gross, second is discount, third is depreciation, fourth is net sales. But when I go to this, net sales is coming next. That means it is going in a column way. Like first it took the first chart, then it took the second chart in the row, in the column, and because there was no third chart in the column, it went to the next column. then it found the discount, then it had only one, then it went to the next one, which is depreciation. Okay, so by default the nature is column wise, you can see. Okay, not by default, after activating it I have selected a column wise. But let's suppose we deactivate this option. Okay, and we go to auto. This is auto one, this option is deactivated. Now if I go to small phone, it's the same. Okay, no changes in that. Okay, but if I activate this feature, okay, and if I go to free fall, so what free fall does, you see, because some charts were present at different screen, it didn't get it. Okay, because it is a free fall, it is not coming. So this free position is not useful if your device type is very dynamic in nature, like the width and all. Okay, so in those case auto flow is very important. So when auto flow, it adjusts all the things. And here also how you want to go with. So currently it is by column. That means if I go to how I'll explain you. See, if I go to auto, it is going by column. That is my first chart, then second, then third, then because here nothing is there, then it will go to next column, fourth. So that is how it is selecting. So if I go to small, first, second, third, fourth, the same sequence. But if I change the sequence, if I go to the lane again and I change the sequence to row, you see it is by row wise. That means it will complete the first row first, which is gross sales, discount, and depreciation, then it will come to the next row. So this is how it decides how you can order your widgets. And then you have remove widgets from auto flow. So suppose when showing in the mobile device, there is some widget which is not compatible with mobile device, or due to some limitation you don't want to show that widget at all. So in your desktop version you will show 4 widgets, but when it comes to the mobile device or another flexible device, you want to show it only 2 device, or only 2 or 3 charts. So then you can select which chart you don't want. So for example, here is a 10, I don't want to use this chart, I'll just select it chart 10, it is gone. So chart 10 is nothing but the depreciation. You see, it is hidden like this, but you need to see how this flow works. Okay, so you need to adjust, like here I am getting some weird feature. Okay, if I go again, let me try activate it, auto flow. So auto flow, see, everything is adjusted in the same line. Okay, instead of going to the next line, because it removes the gaps and just place, because we put some gap. No, when we use the free, we use some gaps here, some gaps here, some gaps here. But when we go auto flow, it automatically removes the gaps and arrange it in this way. Now you see what it does. You can remove a specific widget from the auto flow and set their spacing so that it can be positioned to a certain place. So when you use this chart, sorry, my bad, when I was explaining it is not like removing any specific chart, but out of these 4 charts, let's suppose you want one chart to a specific position only, and then the rest of the chart you want to rearrange. So in that case, you can select, for example, if I want to select the depreciation, sorry, what is 10? Let me check, because I didn't rename it. So it is difficult to understand which is chart 10. So chart 10 is gross sales, no worries. So I'll go to lane 1. I have selected chart 10. Now for chart 10, what I will do, I will define the spacing and all for this chart 10. Okay, so I will add widget and I will put, let's suppose, 50 as the top spacing. You see it went very much down, so I need to put little bit less, let's suppose 20. Okay, so by default it is coming as grid only, I don't see any other option, or maybe go with 10. Okay, so this is like these are automatically adjusted, but here I want one chart which should be at a specific position only. Okay, so there will be some rare cases where you need this, so then you will do this option. And then here you do like the left spacing, you can put 0 so that it will come at the left. Okay, or if I make it 0, then it will go at the top, but it will hide the previous chart, which is not good, because auto alignment will always go at the top. Okay, so it should be somewhere at the bottom. Okay, so I'll use this 10 or maybe 9. Let me see. Yeah, so it should come here. And then similarly you can also adjust the size. Okay, so you can select this chart 10 and you can select the size of it. So maybe you can use 15 grids, so it will become a bit lengthier width, or you can use 9 width. So this is just for the widths, or you can go with 6 width like this. And similarly for the height also, you can select the specific chart and you can select the width of it like this. Okay, so this is how you can use it, and you can also hide the widget. So out of these four, if you want to hide any of the widget, so in the auto flow, so you can hide that. For example, you hide this chart one, it is gone. So this was I was explaining earlier, like you want to hide any specific chart, then you can also hide this widget. Okay, so I'll just keep it, I don't want to hide it. So I think now it is very clear to you within a responsive page how you can use these options that is being available. By default I will turn it off. Okay, but that is useful in some rare cases. Then going to the styling option, you have a background option. So you have three options over here: gradient, image, and color. If you go with the gradient, for example, so then you can select the respective gradient. Okay, so you click on edit, whatever gradient you want to make it a very beautiful report, and then you use the light color at the front. Then you can use the gradient and how you want to do the gradient, whether it will come vertically up to down or horizontally from left to right. Okay, or you can use a color. By default no color is applied, but in case you want to use the color, for example, you want to go with the very light green color, or maybe very whitish color or grayish color. Most of the time we use the gray color, kind of a standard one. Then you can use very gray color as well. Maybe let me make it a little bit darker. Yeah, so this is how we can use the color. And also, like in case you want to upload images and use it, so then you can upload the image using this, and any image you can use. I'm not sure what image I have, but I will not use any image. But for this you can just add the image and it will appear at the background for your chart. Okay, so I will go with the color one, and I'll select the default color as this. And then what we will do, we will try to put some uh, whenever we do a development, best practice is to use the flow graph, um, um, flow panel. So what I will do, I will add a flow panel from here, from the container, and you can add a flow panel, and this flow panel is added over here. So this is added below this, the standard one. And then you can adjust the size of this flow panel. Okay, and this is the very best practice to develop, start with any fresh development. Okay, and here you will get the feature how you want to name it. So you double click on it and make it as some naming convention like flow panel underscore header. So this is for the header. So this flow panel I'm using for the header, and then within this you click on this and add other objects, like you go with the object, or maybe you go with the text. You can add a text within it as well. Okay, so you just click on the text and you can rename it. Okay, so you double click on it, rename it demo story. Okay, so but you see, when you add a panel and you want to put demo story somewhere in between or somewhere, it doesn't works, because this is the nature of the flow panel. It will adjust automatically. Okay, so whenever you put something, it will go somewhere. Okay, so that is why where we need to use container called panel. Okay, so you select this, go add panel. So panel is added over here. Okay, now it is very difficult to see the size and adjust, right? So many of the time people face very difficulties while using it. So very easy way to, instead of doing it using the mouse or the drag and drop, go to the um, this builder panel option, and here you will get the option. So just select your panel, and instead of pixel, just use the percentage. So width, height. So height you make it 100%, so it will always align with the height. But if you don't want 100%, you can also make it 80%, so it will go up. So because it is the nature of this, it will always go at the top. So this way panel can be placed at the places, and then this text you can place within the panel. Okay, so this is your story title you place over here, so you can place anywhere in the panel. Okay, so normal panel, and then you can just use it and make it bolder. For example, um, go to the menu, make it bold, and you can use any other color as well, like some lighter gradient, something like this. Okay, so this is your demo story, and then you have added this panel, and this is one panel. I would suggest like you can add multiple panels for each thing, so that you can design your panels or the design your data accordingly. Then at the top level you can also show some high level KPIs. So by percentage is always good, because whenever people will just increase or decrease the size, it will automatically adjust. I will show you how it works. Okay, so now this story panel is added. I will save it. Okay, and I will open it in the view mode. So I have just opened it in the view mode. Let me close this, close this, close this. Okay, so you see the demo story is coming at the top. Now if I increase it, like using control plus orientation, you see this is adjusting and it is still coming here. So but normally people will not increase that much. So this how you will do this is very important, like how you. So similarly here you are getting some scroll also, but you sometimes you don't need this scroll option, right? So when you go here, and let me go back to my normal 80%. Okay, so when you go here, you select the panel. In the styling you have set the percentage and also set the margin. Okay, so when you select this text widget, you can see the width, height, the margins all are in pixel, and the right and the bottom are in auto. So what we need to do is, because in order to make it a dynamic, so what we will do, we will convert this width into percentage. So this is the width. So width of the demo story is now percentage. Now height, what we will do, because we want to automatically adjust the height. Okay, so based on the length, if people will zoom in, zoom out, the height should automatically adjust. Then we will keep this left margin as constant. So you here you see there is some margin. If we increase it, like we can make it 10 as well, so it will increase the margin, and we'll keep like this. And then from the top you can increase, like you can make it 5 like this, and it will come a little bit down. Okay, so these two things we can keep as constant. A right one we can keep auto, so that from right side it will be automatically adjusted the margin, and bottom also we can keep as percentage. Okay, so these changes we will do, and we save it. So just to try to understand what we did here. So when we say 75% or 74% width, that means this is my 100%. That means the panel. So the panel that we have added is the 100%. Out of these 100%, whenever we zoom in or zoom out, it will, this text widget will always be taking the width of 74%, and the height will be automatically adjusted, the height of this. Okay, based on the zoom in and zoom out. And from left side it will always be 10, and from the top it will always be 5 pixel uh, uh, gap. And then from the right side, the margin is auto, so it will automatically adjust the margin. And from bottom it is 41%. Okay, always. So this is a good way of doing it. So if we save this, and now if we try to view the same story, you will see the difference. So here the same story has opened. What I will do is I will try to zoom in. You see, it is adjusting till very last moment. So I went all the way through 200% from 100%, and it is still coming correctly. Even if I go a very smaller size, it is still working. So by this, it is always recommended that whenever you design any a responsive story, do testing by increasing the resolution or keeping in mind the resolution or the screen size that most of the users will be using. Okay, so coming back, hope this is clear now. Now what we will do, we will let me go back to 80%. So we will quickly see like how we can easily create the reports. So it is not like the end of the session, because at the very beginning I said that I'll be covering each and everything in very detail. So here I will tell you now only the we have completed the pages types. So this was the responsive page. Similarly, you have the canvas page, and in the canvas page also, if you go to the outline, you can add the similar things. Only difference, I said that in the responsive page you will get a responsive flow panel added by default, and what are the features I've already shown. But in canvas page it is kind of a fixed one. So in canvas page, if you go to the styling, you will get other options. So if I go to responsive page, I don't see those options. So in the styling, you see only background color or some padding is coming. 4 padding by default. Maybe you can increase or decrease. If you want to show the gradient, you can check this and gradient will appear for the development. Okay, and then within the builder you have just like each lane is occupying 100% of the screen, which is 480 pixel. Now if I go to the canvas page, in the builder you will not see anything, but in the styling you have the background color. You can add here, you can see the grid size is very small. Okay, so that means you can adjust the widgets. It is kind of a fixed one. We are not here doing with our dynamic thing. Very fixed one, or very detailing it. These are very much useful for dashboards or showing on any screen within office premise and all. So these reports are very useful for those purposes. And then we have a snap to grid option here. Then we have canvas size. So currently it is dynamic. Like if you keep on adding the widgets either to the right side or the bottom, it will keep adjusting the size of the canvas. So here I have added the lane, but if I remove the lane, for example, I delete it, so lane is removed. Now if I keep on adding the charts over here, you see it will keep on adjusting. Let me increase the size and then again add another chart. So till now it is here, but if I drag it below, you see a scroll is added. That means it's the size is dynamic. So whatever size of the chart I'm adding, it is automatically adjusting. Similarly, if I go again and I can make it fixed. So instead of dynamic, I can make it fixed, and I can select custom. These are very useful if in case like you want the printout or the specific size of this page, or like you want to broadcast it or schedule publication in a specific page size, then also these are very useful. So if I go with the A4 size, then it says that the height is going beyond, because we have added a chart which is more than the length. Now if I go here, let's see, now it is in green color. We can adjust the size. What should be the size? Let's check. Okay, so we can decrease like this. Okay, so we can decide whether I want to go with the fixed size and decide the size of the page, both the width and the height, or by default it is dynamic. So in case of dynamic, we can use it. Also, like orientation wise, you can make it as a vertical orientation. It will look like a page, or you can do horizontal orientation. So width is more, height is less. but if you go with vertical, it will like reversed. And then even like it's a fixed one, but you can have a fixed height. So what will happen, the width will always remain fixed, but height will be keep on increasing. If you add more charts or increase the size of the chart, it will keep on adding the width. So that will be the case for this one. So this is like continuous height and fit page to the grid. You can see this. So this is how you can select the page layout. And this is like in case you want to enable this. Some features won't support if you go with the reporting layout. So here you see you can go into more details, enable reporting layout, which splits the canvas into 3 areas, including header, footer. So these are very useful in case you want to generate the offline copy. And also sometimes people want it in a reporting layout, like a tabular data is there, or in all the pages you need the header and footer, then you can use this. So then it will be converted like this. So you can add your header here and the footer at the bottom, like page and all, and then you design your report like this kind of a storytelling, and every month or every week you can generate this file based on your requirement. So these are the use cases of the this canvas pages. So these options you will not get in the responsive page. So based on the nature of the requirement, you need to decide whether you want to go with the responsive page or you want to go with the canvas page. So these are all the options. In case sometimes you don't need footer, you can remove it, uncheck this, and then you have the margins, like the normal margin, or you go with the narrow margin, the margin is reduced here, or wide margin, so more margin will be there. Okay, so you can decide, or you don't want a margin, then also you can think of. So this is how you can design your page layout and put your everything. So I will keep as none. And so I have discussed, so we have discussed about both the type of pages and what are the features. And coming to the outline, the options are similar, but here you can see when we selected the page as reporting, we are not getting the scripting feature in the outline. Okay, so because the message says there are some limitations. Okay, so maybe due to that we are not able to get it. Okay, so what we will do, we will try to add another canvas page to demonstrate it, because it doesn't allow to redo it. See, you are not getting a switch off option here. You get the switch on option, but it is not allowing you to revert back. Okay, so here we have the canvas page, another canvas page, but here you see the outline where you can do all the scripting and all. So these things we will cover in the other session. So our focus here is to decide about, like, discuss about the responsive page and canvas page, the differences between them. And now next thing we will be doing is to create a very simple report in a responsive way, and to include certain charts. So this is our demo story. We have added the title. Now we will be adding the fields over here, or the charts which will be required for our story. So what charts we will need is, we will first try to make it a little bit smaller, and then we will, so here I will not concentrate more on the formatting part, because that is a separate topic. I will just show you what chart types are available and how we usually select the chart types. Okay. Okay, so first chart type we will discuss about the bar and column. So these are basically used for comparison between values, and you can use either one or multiple measures and one or multiple dimensions, and it will give you the comparison of the values between the um, one measure compared to the different dimensions or the dimension values, or multiple measures compared to each other as well. So we'll see, like in example, we will use a country and total sales. So what we will do is, we will keep these as is. We will come to this later. So we will add a new chart from here. Okay, a new chart is added at the end. And as I said, we are not focusing on the formatting part. So just forgive me if it doesn't look good. So here what we will do the net sales, for example. So this is our sales value, and we want to see it by country. So within region we have a country option. So currently we have only 3 countries, but that is fine for the example purpose. So it says that in Germany we have this much sale, in Singapore we have this much, and in USA we have this much sales. And and here you have an option to change the orientation, like you can make it vertical as well. So this is how we usually use the chart option. Okay, so I will keep it as horizontal. Okay, so which is good for me. And then we have another chart, which is, so we'll go to the next chart. So here what it says that so this is just an example. In our case the data set is different. So in our data set it says that Singapore has the highest net sales when we are comparing the country, and we have only 3 data points. Maybe in your case it will be more, or in your case you, instead of using a country, you are using different dimension. And another thing is, like, instead of just doing by country, you can add multiple columns, sorry, multiple measures as well, like net sales and gross sales, both you want to check. Okay, so like this you will get both the things, and from here you can see the gross sale of Singapore is highest, and also the net sales. Okay, so this is dummy data, but this gives you the importance. And also, like, if we simply want to compare the gross sale and the net sale without country, we can remove it. Still we are able to compare the net sale with the gross sale. Okay, so this is it, but majorly we use it with a combination of the dimension, which is good. So this is our way of using it, and this is a bar chart usage for comparison. Now we will move to our next chart, which is a line. Usually we use for the trend analysis, like we use it with a dimension which will, and it will show you the trend. Okay, whether we are going up or we are going down, or a specific month. So you can use month, but sometimes it is also used with a combination of different data set or a different dimensions as well. So in this example, let's suppose use sales, total sales or the net sales, and then we will see it by month, and maybe we can use product category as the color. So what we will do is we will add another chart over here. So this is our second chart. I will place it over here. Okay, and this chart, we will make it a line chart, and in the line chart we will select net sales, and in the dimension we will select month. Okay, and we will change the hierarchy level to 3, for example, or maybe we change it to 4 to go at the month level and make it a little bit bigger. Okay, and then in the color option we have an option. So maybe if we have a product category or not. So product category ID we have, so we can select the product category as well. So a lot of product categories are there, so the chart looks not much distorted, very close to each other, because it is a dummy data. So that is why it is giving the data like this. But many of the times if you don't want the data pointer, so I'll not go to formatting. So formatting part we will see later on. So this is how maybe at least we can do the scaling to make it look a little bit better. So we will go to scaling option and make it auto formatted. So this is our auto formatted data, and we have these many product categories, and this is the trend. Okay, so you can see in May month the toys has come down, sales of the toys has come down. Okay, so this is where how we use the trend analysis. And then next is numeric pointer. Here basically we will show the KPI style visualization, a very high level data, which gives a KPI indicators or performance indicator or summary, not like having a combination of a dimension or something, but just a number, which is, for example, total sales, total orders, number of orders, profit, growth percentage, and all. So, for example, here we have the COGS as a numeric pointer. So that is um, this is the total gross sales, and here we have the COGS, and we can rename it like total gross sales, and we can hide the primary label like this. And similarly we can have another one where we have the discount. So instead of discount we can use other as well. So this is my gross sales, and then we have um, marketing expenses. So we can add like high level total marketing expenses, total depreciations, then what is my net sales accordingly. So we started with 129 million of sales, and then there were certain expenses. After subtracting those expenses, we come up with a net sales of 110 million. So these are the usage of the numeric charts. Okay. So we can have more numeric charts over here using different colors based on the KPIs that you have. But you need to be think like as a storytelling. Like you start with a maybe here we have a gross sale. Then what are the other expenses or COGS I have added over here? How you want to represent it is also very important. So store operating cost also we have HQ admin cost, or maybe you create total other cost and then you show the secondary measure as the bifurcation and major other cost as the total of those. So that is also one of the way. Okay, so in case you want to show the total tax paid, and here you want to use any different color, so you can go and select just the different color of it like this. Okay, so this is very simple how you can design your report. And next one is combination of column and line chart. So these are useful. You can see the dual axis chart that combines columns, shows value, absolute value. So maybe you can use the do the comparison between the two measures over you based on the value of the dimension, and at the same time you also want to show the trend rate or performance, because when you do the comparison using the bar chart or the columns, it shows you the absolute difference between the values, but maybe the percentage of increase and decrease compared to previous month is way higher. So it is very important like how you want to do the this analysis. So sales versus growth percentage. So total sales you can use, and YOY growth percentage you can use as the line. So here what we will do, we will add another chart. For example, let's make it here. Okay, so in this case what we will do is we will select combination chart, and in the combination we will have our net sales as the measure, and here we get the difference of each month by the month ID. So let's suppose we don't need the product ID. So this is our difference, or between the net sales and the gross sales, for example. So these two differences we want to see for each month. So Yeah, so in the example, so because here I am not going to do calculations and all, because that is a separate session. So instead of using, so you can use percentage growth as well. So for example, the net sales from in January was 9 million, but in February it is 10 million. That is 10 minus 9, 1 million increase. Okay, but what percentage? So this difference shows that there is an increase in 1 million. Okay, so when I compare this, this is like 9% increase. So this 9% you can use as a line chart and show like how the percentage is going on. So this bar chart is used to show the difference or the comparison on the value, but at the same time you can use the line chart to show the difference in terms of growth or percentage or rate, at what rate or at what pace we are increasing or decreasing. So that's the use of the this chart. But here, instead of doing that calculation to calculate the growth percentage or something, I have simply used the interest here, or the tax. So here you can see for each month, although we are comparing the net sales and the gross sales, at the same time, using the line, we are seeing that how much tax amount we are paying. Although our gross sales has increased, but tax is around 10 million only. It is constant similarly. So this gives an insight based on like two comparisons at the same time. We also be able to see whether we are increasing or decreasing. So example, you can see sales are increasing but growth slowed down. So maybe there will be cases that sales is continuously increasing compared to the previous month, but growth is 3% only. Because if 3% it is increasing, then every month as considerable amount of the previous month will increase. But when we show the line as a growth percentage, then it will always show 3%. That means um, sales are increasing, still the growth is not increasing. That means it is still 3% or 3.1%. It is not going from 3% to 3.5, 3.5 to 4%, and so on. So that is where this combination column and line chart are important. Then we have a stacked bar and column chart. So here we can use these are best for answering what is the total made of. So we do the comparison between the two measures, but at the same time we also want to see the total of the measure is coming based on what a particular dimension. So for example, if we take the country as x-axis and then total sales and product category as the stack, then we will come to know. So let's use this same chart, this one. What I will do, I will copy it and paste it. So this chart is pasted over here. And then what we will do is we will convert it to stack chart. Okay. So this is stack bar chart. In the stack bar chart, we have the net sales by the country, similar to this one, exactly the same. But what we will do is in the color section, we will add the product category. So what will happen here is, although we are getting the total, but at the same time we are also able to know how this total is coming. Okay, so we know that the kitchen value is this one. So let's do the scaling to make it appear. uh, so we'll do auto format. So see, by this you will be able to see that these many thousands are coming from beauty products, from toys is contributing this much, and this one. So you can see the home and kitchen are best sold in USA. Okay, and at the same time this one electronics are best sold also in USA, but USA is bit the smaller sales in terms of toys. Toys are most sold in Singapore. So this gives more detailed information of the comparison. So we are doing the comparison of the sales based on the country, but at the same time we are also seeing that for that country, what are the bifurcation by product category. Okay, so this is where this chart is useful. Okay, going to the next one. combination of stacked column chart and comparison chart. So I think this is very straightforward because we already know why we use the stacked column chart. So here we will do the total value plus composition of each value, and also at the same time we will see the performance, like the trend or the performance metrics. So it will be similar to this one. Okay, so very similar to this one, and we will change the chart type to stack combination and this. So here you have the stack combination with the country. So instead of going with the country, what I will do is I will make it as month ID. Okay, so that for each month we will be getting the data in this format for quarter wise, or even you can go with the month wise data and then make it a bit bigger. So this gives the information about the net sales over the period, and also the bifurcation by product category. Okay, so this is how useful it is, and at the same time you can also add the growth. So again, as I am not going to do the calculation and growth is not a part of my data set, so I will simply show you. So here you can add a line, so you can select any other, for example interest or tax, just to show like how it will appear. So here it is not looking good because the data is like that only. So it depends on the data, like which or you need to do the scaling. So those formatting part we will see in the later stage of it. So but this is how it is useful, and you can use it. So at the same time, instead of, let's suppose, going by the month ID, because the data is very much similar to each other, not very much different. So if we go with for example country, so here it will show you how the difference is there and how the colors are used for the line chart as well. So yeah, so this is how you can display the data of each country, and also the bifurcation of by product category, and at the same time you can also see the line chart, and line chart also show you the bifurcation by the product category. So this becomes very much distorted if you have this much. So you need to be very specific, like what chart type you will be using. So here it says the story. If I go into a full screen mode, so I'll be able to see, for example, see this is gives a more clear picture. So here is the bifurcation, and I can see that the interest of this toy tax has increased and then decreased. So because the data set is limited, not much value added here. But when you will have a larger data set with more data points, then it will give more information, like how the pattern is and all. But the overall requirement for this is to show you the comparison between the value, and at the same time also the stack of it, like what value is contained within it, and also the trend or growth or the performance or three KPIs at the same chart. Okay, so moving to the stacked area chart. So these are time-based visualization that shows you the overall trend over time, and also contribution of multiple categories to the total. Okay, so for example, if we can use the month and then the respective sales amount as the year axis and color as the product category, then it will show us like whether the total sales is increasing or decreasing, and which category, product category, contributes the most and the least. Okay, so how we will do it is we will just add another chart, and we will change the type as area, and in the area we have the net sales, And in the net sales, then we have the dimension as country, for example. So instead of country, we will use x-axis as our month. Okay, and we will drill it. Okay, and now we have the product category as the color. So here you see the electronic is like how electronic is trending, and then we have um, how the trend is for the apparel. So it is going past electronics in certain months, so the color appears there. So this is very useful way. So by color you will be easy to see that in February the home kitchen is going up, and then in March month we have the beauty product going up, and then in June and July we have the apparel product. Okay, so if you click here, like you see the trend, or if you click here you'll see the trend. So this is how useful it is to see in an area where, like, how you can display the data. So it says that how the total sales are increasing or decreasing, and which product category is contributing. Now coming to the pie chart, it is very simple. Like you can have sales and then product by category, for example. So this is a responsive page. So I'll try to add another chart here. Okay, so the chart is added. We'll go towards the left, and this is our new chart. So this is not like the best practice of the thing we are discussing. Here I am just showing you what is the meaning or the use of each chart type, so that if someone is very new to the visualization, you will understand or uh, take decision in selecting the respective charts. Okay, so we will go with the pie chart. It is very simple. You can select the total net sales, and then you can go by product category, for example. So this is gives you the percentage. You can also show the number instead of the percentage, the total amount as well. So, but this is very useful in case out of total you want to show the share of each product category on the sales. And then a similar one is the donut, but here you have like you will be able to see the total as well. So let's suppose you want to show the total, so you can check this and total will come in between. And then you can change the style with the scaling feature. So you can um, sorry, sometimes it stuck. Okay, so here you can go to scaling feature and you can make it as auto format. So here you will get 109 million total net sales, and then you are also getting the percentage. So that's the advantage of having a product category. Okay, and you can also use cascading effects. So effects and all we will see in the later things, like how filtering and cascading effect works. So this is the another chart, and then we can go to the donut we have already discussed. Then we can use the bullet indicator. So these are used to show the performance. Like you have some target, although sometimes we use a speedometer, but because a speedometer is not a standard chart in SSC as of now, so you can use this bullet indicator to show what was the target and what is the current status, and whether how far we are from the benchmark. Okay, so accordingly you can decide the actual and where you are the benchmark, and you can also add the threshold, like good or bad. So for that, what we can do, okay, so we will just copy and paste, and then we will change the chart type as bullet. Okay, so this is my bullet chart. I need the net sales. Okay, and the actual is selected. Okay, so what we can do is we can add the dimension as version. Okay, and then you need to add the threshold. So what is your threshold? So you need to go to the threshold and add threshold. Here what we will do, sorry, my bad. So I will use the net sales as my measure, and within net sale I will go by number. I am not comparing with another measure, so I'll go with by number. So a minimum I will keep. So here I can see the total sales is 109, right? So 109 million. So I will keep some range, like good range is around greater than 110. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, then I add warning, and if my range is between, and this is just an example, you need to select a specific thing for your requirement, because sometimes we do have a SLA, right? We, whenever we support, let's suppose it, there are certain activity in a business and each have an SLA, and there is a target like out of 100%, 90% should met. So then you can show whether for a particular month whether we are 90% plus or below 90%. But just to show you how this works, I'll show you like how it is working. So for example, warning, I will go with around 60 million. 1 2 3 4 5 6, maximum say 1 2 3. Okay, this is greater than equal to 1 2 3. Okay, and then we have the red zone where this should be nothing but less than equal to 1 2 3 4 5 6. So like this we can design and apply, and done. So we have, let me remove the version over here and show the threshold story defined net sales, and we will put version here. So let's suppose we are doing it for the actuals, so we'll select the actual, click OK. Okay, so here you can see currently we are very close, 109 million, which is very close to 110 million, which is our green zone. So wherever we go above this, it is good till infinity. But if I come below this one, it is like it is minus infinity. Infinity doesn't make any sense. So you can also change the threshold accordingly and make it like, instead of this, you can make it like maximum you can go 150, 1 2 3 4 5 6, and minimum you can make it 0, and then update it and apply it. So then it updates like this. Okay, so this is how it works. And similarly you can also do the scaling for this as well if required. So you can go to the styling, and you can select let's suppose scale, auto format, so in millions. So this is very easy way to show you. So this is like if I am below 60 for a particular month, so this is just an example, like below 60 million, then I am in red. That means I am underachieving that sales. If I am between 60 to 110, then moderate. But if it is 110 plus, then I am doing good. Okay, so we are currently 109, very close to the green zone. So that is the example, and you can rename this as well, how you want to rename these things. So that is the use of the bullet indicators. Then you have time series to show the trend, where you can show different charts as the trend. So let me just copy paste and change it to the time series. So we will go to the builder option, and the builder option we will change it to time series. So here you need to select the time. So just use the time, only one time field is here. So you can select the respective field over here, and then here you will get an option to uh, make it smaller or bigger like this. So here you have, you can see all the data, or you want to see the YTD, or you want to see the 6 months data, that features appears at the runtime or the view mode as well to the users, so which is very good. And also you can add multiple measures as well, like if you want to go with um, net sales as well as cogs, so you can show it like this. So this is how you can use the time dimension features as well. So this is about time dimension, and you can use a smart forecast and all that I will show you during the planning session, so I will not go for the those things. Heat map is also very useful in case you want to see the distribution. So when heat map is used in case of distribution, so whenever you want to see like how the data is distributed, so you need two dimensions, x-axis and y-axis, and then the measure where you will see like how the measures and magnitude or the intensity of the color, you can use the specific measure to show the color. So for example, um, I'll create one more chart over here. Just a bit slow. Okay, so the chart is added. Now what I will do is I will change it to heat map, and in the heat map I'll remove the threshold. I don't want the threshold, so none. And in the heat map you need remove the date as well. Date is not relevant for this. So I want maybe product ID, sorry, this product category, and y-axis I want the region, by which region it is. So here you can see, and you also need to add the intensity, so gradient is added by net sales. Okay, so you need to show the legends. So legends is shown, so wherever you see this blue color, which is the sales is more. Okay, so these three you see the sales are more, but others way the sales are less. So this is how it is being used. If we select again, okay, so this is the heat map where we have the x-axis, y-axis, and the respective color shown by the total sales. You can change the gradient if required, like you can go um, from darker to lighter color like this, which is very classic, or you can use like this where a red is showing the least net sales. So this is how you can create a heat map, which is very useful for showing you the distribution of the data, okay, across two dimensions. So waterfall basically we use in case we want to show, for example, the project management. For example, we show the phases, or so waterfall basically we use in case we want to show like how we are coming to. So here you can see the example. We can show the breakdown of each and everything, and we can also show the plus and minus value of each of the things to showcase how the interest and revenue and costs are working. So here, for example, we can start with the waterfall. We can remove the dimensions in case dimension is not needed, and if we want to show the overall net sales, so here we can add the net sales, and maybe gross sales. Then we start with the gross sales, then we have the interest, the tax, the discounts. Okay, so I'm just giving an example, like, okay, so because there are many expenses, so we need to calculate it accordingly. So just an example like how you can do it. Okay, so but here you see that if you go with the vertical one, everything is in a positive way only. Okay, but for example, if you also use um, okay, so if these interest and tax are negative, right? So if we create a measure, okay, where we can calculate tax as tax into -1, and we keep it in the bracket, for example, and click OK. Just give an example, like, okay, so we use tax instead of this tax, we used this one, so that it gives clear sense, like where was my gross, this one, and tax is minus, so this one, then minus, and then again we need to put interest minus, discount minus, and then at the end we will get the net sales. So that will be my the last one. So here these two will be also minus. So just an example, you can include all other stuff as well, just to show all how we are starting from. So ideally how we show is in the example, like total revenue is done, which will appear over here. Let's suppose this is 50 or 500k, and then there is cost of 200k, then again this minus this is my gross profit is coming like this, then again we have operating expenses, interest or taxes all in minus, and then finally we will come to, so give you the entire flow of like how we are coming to the net sales or the net profit of the value. Okay, so that is why it is very important to understand this. And similarly, it is not only used in this purpose, maybe in project also you follow the waterfall model, and there also you want to see the specific milestone using this case, so you can add the dimension and showcase like the percentage wise which one is completed by what percent. So that is also one of the example where you can use the patterns as well. Okay, so this is the thing. And going to the tree map, tree map is the type of visual in SAP Artist Cloud where you want to show the hierarchical data in a set of nested rectangles. Okay, so tree map you can add, and then you can add a category in the rectangle. For example, here we just copy and paste it. And instead of waterfall model, we can use the tree map. There are other models as well, so I will, because it will make very lengthy, I will just show you this last tree map one, and then we can wind up this session, and we will start with the other parts in the coming sessions. So here we'll go with the product category, for example. Okay, so product category, so this is our tree map. um, and here the size will be decided by the um, tax. So here you can see the maximum tax we are paying for home and kitchen, although the gross sales for the home and kitchen is um, uh, 24 million. Okay, but maximum tax we are paying for this. So here we are um, earning more, which is 26k million, but we are paying less. Okay, so this is very important to understand in these cases, like although the revenue or the sales is more but the tax is less, or here the sales is less but the tax is more. So this is very important insight how we can see that using the tree map. Okay, so and the other ones we have the box plot. Box plot are also used for the distribution, and these are very helpful in case you want to identify the outliers. I also have the Marimako. So Marimako chart is also in SSE is two-dimensional stack bar chart. Bar chart represents one measure and bar height represents composition like product mix or market share. It's perfect when you want to show size and structure at the same time. Okay. And then you have the bubble. This shows the correlation, like you can place the bubble and it will show you like how is the relation between the two dimensions and the measures, like showing the size of the bubble based on a specific measure, and the color of the bubble based on another specific measure. So that is also shows the correlation between the measures and the dimensions. And histogram is used again for the distribution to show you how the data distribution. So if I go here, you see the bubble. Here you can show the x as the revenue profit and the bubble size by sales volume. So maybe the sales in the volume is more but the revenue is less or the profit is less. And then by dimension also you can see like whether you want to see by customer or product. Okay, so this quickly spots the high revenue and low profit products. So then you can think of like how we can do the improvements in that. And then coming to the next one, which is the histogram. So this is used to show the distribution of continuous measures by grouping values into bins ranges and displaying how often values fall into each range. So here you can select x-axis as value ranges and y-axis as frequency count or sometimes total values. And it reveals the data spread, skewness, left or right, peaks and clusters, outliers, and whether data is normal. So for an example, sales and revenue distribution histogram of order value. See if sales are driven by many small orders or few large deals. So this will help you to understand how your sales is being distributed, whether you are having small orders, so many small orders or few larger orders. Okay. And next one is a scattered plot. Scattered plot is used to analyze the relationship or correlation between two numeric measures. So when we use the scatter plot, it will come like wherever there is a relation, so all those scatters will look at a specific position. So you will have x-axis and y-axis as the two measures, and then you will have the data points as one of the dimension, whether you go by the product or customer or region, etc. And then you can also use color for category or segment, and then you can easily see positive negative correlation, like whether all the clusters were looking at is appearing at one position or it is going up or down together. So how it is, or maybe one is going up and at the same time another is going down. So just showing the relation. For example, if revenue increases, profit increases, cost increases, profit decreases. So this is kind of a correlation between two measures. So you can analyze. Okay. And then we have a cluster bubble. So cluster bubble is used for advanced bubble chart that groups bubbles based on a similar characteristics. So you will have a scattered plot, a relationship x and y, and then you will have a bubble chart like magnitude, size, and clustering segmentation by behavior. So here you can select one measure called like and another measure as the y-axis and the bubble size, just like the bubble chart. But here you will have cluster automatically groups similar bubbles, and you will instantly see natural segments, high impact groups, outliers. So more informative when you want to quickly analyze the correlation of the data. Okay, so here we see the example of purchase frequency, average spend as the y-axis, and then size, customer lifetime value as the size. So SSC cluster customers into VIPs, regulars, and low value are at risk customers. So this size of the bubble will give you which are our VIP customers, which are regular customer, like, and which are low value or at risk customers. So radar charts are also known as spider and or web charts in SSC, and is used to compare multiple measures across a single dimension on a column scale. or common scale. So it answers how one entity perform across several KPIs. So for example, each axis will give you an information for one measure or a KPI, and it will have a distance, a specific distance from the center, which will also give you the value or the score. And shape or area gives you the overall performance or the profile, and multiple polygons shows you the comparison between the entities. So example, you will have access as revenue, margin, growth, customer satisfaction, and cost. And then polygon as region A versus region B. Performance scorecard compares region, stores, or teams across KPIs, quickly see strength and weaknesses. So that is what I wanted to cover in today's session. So to summarize, we discussed about the type of pages in SSE story. So those are responsive pages and canvas pages, and what are the settings or configurations available for each type of pages, what are their use cases, and how we can use any of the pages and some margins or all. And then we also discuss about the type of charts available in SAC. So if we go here, you can see a lot of charts available. So we discussed about each of the type, and because this is Pareto is very newly added, it is not there in my PPT that I was using throughout the session. So Pareto chart is basically used in which you want to see the um, cumulative value, running cumulative value, which is impacting. For example, if I select this, and if I remove the month ID, for example, so here you can see we have 5 different categories. But in my case, the data is very much constant. Like each category is around 22 million. Okay, some is 21 million around, but the rest is 22. So it is very similar. So that is why the first one constitutes to 20% of the total, and then it is showing you the cumulative percentage. So if we add these two, then 40%, then we add these three, then 60.7%, add these four, then 80%, and so on. In other cases, there will be cases, because this is a dummy data, so that is why this seems very constant. But sometimes it will be like the first two or first three will be constituting to 80%, and maybe the remaining will be constituting very less percentage. So this will give you a quick information about like which is contributing the most, and how like combination of the product category is performing well. Because here we are arranging it, we can sort it from in a descending order or ascending order, and we can see like which is contributing, which group of values are contributing the most. So that is how we can use this chart type. So these all chart types we have discussed here. Okay, so all the chart types, and as I said, please have a practice of using the respective chart based on the requirement. Because I see many of the consultants always use bar chart, line chart, number chart, that's it. They don't or maximum they can use donut or pie chart, because these are most common chart. But as I explained, each and every chart has its own advantage or functionality. So based on the business requirement, and to easily demonstrate, sometimes business user also not aware about the chart types, so you can explain them during the UAT phase and all. Like if we go with a normal bar chart, but if you go with another chart, what value addition it is doing in terms of data visualization and easily tracking. Because if you want to, for example, if you want to see the distribution of the data, so you should not go with a bar chart, because bar chart is used for comparison, right? So you should go with either heat map, or you go with histogram. So these are used for distributions. Or in case you want correlation between two different measures and dimensions, go with the cluster, go with scattered plot. So already explained, but still I'm just giving you an example. So it's always good way to do, like to select the chart very carefully, which gives more information, and it is straight to the requirement, like what actually business want to derive. or how it is going to help. Not just reporting the data for the sake of reporting it, but kind of like how it will improve the business, how it will add value to the business, how they can take decisions using this data, how they can select the outliers, how they can see how the relation is, how they can see how the data is distributed upon, how they can compare the data. So certain KPIs or comparison will be there based on the requirement you need to drive. So this is just for giving an example, but going forward, I will also try to create one sample report as a kind of a storytelling. This is not kind of a storytelling report. This is just to give you a glimpse of what chart types are available or what page types are available. Then we will go into details about the filters, the calculations, everything in the coming session. So this is about today's session. Let's move to the question and answer section. So from the last session, which was related to data analyzer, the first question was what feature are supported by data analyzer, and the correct answer is calculated measure. You can create calculated measure, you can use chart option, or you can use also conditional formatting. So these three are the correct answer. Then which of the following data sources you can use in Data Analytics Cloud Data Analyzer? And the correct answer is SAP HANA View, SAP DataSphere Model, and SAP Analytics Cloud Model. Which task you can perform in Data Analyzer? And the answer is filter and drill down to the data. You want to save your Data Analyzer result. What is it is saved as? So it is saved as insight. Okay. In the optimized design experience, which SAP Analytics Cloud replaces the Explorer? And the answer is Data Analyzer. So these were the 5 questions from the previous session. So let's move to the question and answer section of the today's session. So it's time to move to today's question and answer session related to story, pages, and widgets. So our first question is, which programming language is used for scripting in an SAP Analytics Cloud? The options are Wrangling Expression Language, Python, ABAP, or JavaScript. Next question is, you are designing a new story and you want the size and position of the widget to adjust dynamically for viewing at different devices and different screens. Which page type you must use? So these are the options. Grid is not available now. It is in the older version. Then we have a responsive or composite or canvas. So you can select out of these three. In a story, to which of the following is chart scaling applied? The options are a specific page, all measure, all pages, or a specific measure. And then which of the following is a story guideline? So avoid the top end features in charts and tables, design many stories with few pages, avoid chart filters with many data points, or design few stories with many pages. And when you save a story as a template, what happens? So custom widgets are removed, custom formatting is retained, or standard widgets remain intact, or all data is removed. And the last question is, what are some guidelines does SAP recommends you to follow when you create a story? Use grouping, avoid pie chart, have a clear message, use corporate branding standards. So these are the 6 questions from today's session, and you can answer it. So we will reveal the answers in the next session. So hope you like the content. If yes, please do subscribe the channel if you haven't done it yet. And if you have any questions or queries, you can put in the comment section. We'll come up with the next video related to the story very soon. Till then, stay tuned. Have a nice day. Bye bye.